lovelies, welcome back to the channel. We're back, baby. We're back. It's only been a week since I posted something, but it's felt like a month for me anyway, and I know it's felt like that for you guys because some of you have been telling me that, and I am so sorry because you have been with us from day one of this build. Day one up to day 50 something, and then all of a sudden we went blank. We went off the grid. You didn't know if Nessie was running, you didn't know if we were making it, you didn't know where we were. Here's kind of the story of what happened. And before we start that, the reason, not an excuse now, the reason why I didn't post any videos leading up to us leaving the couple of days before is because we were working here 20 hours a day, leaving 4 hours of the day, and I chose to sleep those 4 hours, which I'm sure you would choose to and you would understand. Now, I absolutely freaking love making these videos and filming and editing, but there just wasn't enough time for all of that. And we needed all the hands that we could get. It got a little crazy, to be honest with you. But then this happened the day that we were leaving, or supposed to leave, for King of the Hammers.
We got a race going!
She started, guys. She started. And let me tell you, the emotions around that whole engine start was just too many to even explain to you, to be honest with you. It was absolute craziness. We were so happy, but then we were worried because we were like, okay, this is game time, this is go time, this is actually freaking happening. Now we really have to do the final push to make sure that everything is a-okay, we're ready to go, we're gonna be able to pass tech, and we're gonna be racing. Atty and I took her, filled her up with gas, took her on the street for a couple of minutes. She moved. Holy moly, did she move. Yeah, you can see that here. Like 1 minute she was here and the next minute she was gone. It was so, just such a proud moment. But at the same time, it was a big boot up everyone's butt because we all knew that this was actually going to happen. So we loaded her on up and she looked so good on the trailer with Mischief Maker, who's right behind me. Yes, by the way, let me just pause for a hot second. Mischief Maker and Nessie, two very different vehicles. A lot of you had thought that I had cut Mischief Maker up to make Nessie. Heck no. Mischief Maker is the OG. Mischief Maker is my man. I love him to bits. He will always be with me. Could never give him away and never cut him up to make a different vehicle. Ew. No, never. Anywho's, we left Tuesday, headed on over to California to King of the Hammers. We kind of got there at nighttime, got into our space, which, by the way, we were in the hot pits. We were in Kevin Stearns's, you know Kevin, come on now. We were in his spot. He said that we could use his spot this year, so we had a tent set up, we rolled her on in, we unpacked all the tools, and we said we're going to start in the morning. That took us till Wednesday morning. Well, I already had plans for Wednesday morning, and I was shooting with onxoffroad, and this is what I was doing. Now, if you want to see any of these videos, you can head on over to onxoffroad here on YouTube. I'll leave the link in the description below. I'm actually hosting a series called Go Further with them. And there is one out right now of me snowmobiling for the first time. So if you feel like having a good old chuckle over your dinner or breakfast or something, head on over there, check it out. And it was pretty interesting seeing how the guys at Boondock Nation, how they use the app, because they have avalanches and all that stuff to look out for. And it's all there within the Onyx Off-Road app, which is kind of cool. I had never even seen that before. So definitely go check it out. Anywho, so Wednesday, whilst I was being hucked in the air, like it felt like 300 feet in the air and going a million miles an hour, the guys were working on Nessie, making sure that she was ready for tech on Thursday. So they were getting a lot of stuff done there. I came back, there was still more to do, but they worked pretty late into the night, and then we all kind of went to sleep, got up Thursday, which was tech day. Now tech was from 10 till 4, and I really wanted to be lined up at 9 a.m. so that we could get through tech, and if there's anything that we needed to do, come back, get it done, get back in line, and be ready to go on Friday. It didn't quite work out that way. Everyone was exhausted. So Thursday morning comes along and we're pulling in more people. We pulled in, the Peck brothers came, they helped out. Cameron was there, Max was there, Maddie was there, Chris was there, and we're all just trying to get this girl ready for tech. Anyway, managed to get the stuff done, went to tech at 3 p.m. You can understand why I was a little freaked out. And they pulled us aside. Now, this car was not tagged. What that means is it's a brand new race vehicle. So they kind of have to tech it before tech. They have to make sure that all the welds are okay, all your safety gear is there and in date. I didn't even know that was a thing, to be honest with you. And they need to make sure that the vehicle is safe for you to be racing in it. That means gussets, the right tubing, the right width of aluminum for the panel above our heads, the cage, just everything. So they check through that. And we had a wonderful, wonderful guy called Richard who made me sweat about 12 pounds of my weight off, because he was like, and he gave us a list. We were not tagged, and we did not complete tech on Thursday. He gave us a small list of things that we had to get done, like gussets at the front right here. We had to put a firewall up here, which you can see this little triangle piece right here. We couldn't get back in line that night, so we had to get everything done that night. Now, you can only imagine me being a nightmare on Thursday. Can you imagine me on Thursday night? I took my booty to bed at about 8:30. Stay out of everyone's way. And unbeknown to me, there was Matt, there was Tom, there was Rudy, there were the Peck brothers, there were 2 volunteers that were there for 3 days, Cameron, Matty, Max, Walter, and Chris. And they all came in and all made sure that everything was done. Well, it is the morning of the race. We're here at race day. It is still pretty kind of dark outside. The sun is coming up, but it is super dusty outside. I'm in the car just warming up, and I am feeling very quietly nervous is what I'm feeling, to be honest with you. But it's gonna be a good day. We're gonna take Nessie out for the first time, and we're gonna see what she can do in our own pace. I am not out here to go balls to the wall and break stuff. I wanna take it easy. I wanna finish the race. So let's see what we can do. A whole new thing. Takes the vehicle out from the tent, around onto the course, back in front. I hop on in to head to tech to get the car tagged on the morning of the race. and the car doesn't start. I am not even making this up. It did not start. I get out of there, I let them do their thing, it finally starts, we head to tag. We sit in the tent. Richard is like, I really hope that you have all this stuff done, because if you don't, then you don't get to race. And I'm like, I know. And we're in tech, and Richard is asking if we have everything done. He checked everything over, and then look at this picture. I love this picture. This is such an awesome moment, getting your vehicle tagged. I know some people are like, really, honestly, it's just a tag, whatever. But you don't understand the hard work that we put into this vehicle. And this was kind of the stamp of approval moment of like, yes, you are actually doing this. Maddie sat next to me, and I just was asking the stupidest questions like, is it race day? Is this a day? Are we really doing this? He's like, yes, sweetie, yes, we are. He was being very nice. Anyway, we get onto the short course, and we're kind of turning around a corner, and I can see the start line, and I'm like, oh my God, are we next? Is this the start line? And he goes, yes, sweetie. I'm like, how do I know when to go? And he's, there's a guy with a green flag. When he waves it, you go. And that green flag waved, and off we went.
Through the desert, we saw speeds of 95 miles an hour. I mean, that Can-Am was absolutely on point, so it's going to be very, very tough.
Yeah, it's Jacob Peak there and Holly Fowler heading out into the desert.
This was the first time I had driven Nessie. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine not knowing a vehicle? You know that I know Mischief Maker like the back of my hand. When I get into Mischief Maker, he's like my second skin. I had no idea what she's made of, no idea if anything was really working. Just not a Scooby-Doo, but I felt very, very happy and relaxed that Matty was next to me, because he knows that place like the back of his hand. And we set off, and as soon as we left the short course, he was so right. I kind of relaxed a little bit more. But when you're going around the short course for the first part of your race, it is terrifying, because I knew so many eyeballs that were on me. I know those people, those people have been a part of it. I know the people who said, you're never going to make it. Their eyeballs are there. I've already won, because I'm like, we're at the start line, our vehicle's being tagged, we're here, we're gonna do this thing. It doesn't matter if we get 5 miles, 50 miles, the whole thing. I don't care, we're here, we've won, this is freaking awesome. Now it's time to test drive Nessie for the first time and put her through a little bit of a grueling first time off-road, and that's what it was. We were sitting very comfortably. I started at the very back of my class, so I was 30th off the line out of 30. And we were going at a great pace. I wasn't even thinking I was in a race, I was just having a good time. But the elements, the whoopses, the not being able to see anything, it was so much at the same time. It was so much to think of and take in, because you have 2 seconds to make a decision whether you're going to pass this person, or whether you're going to stay behind, or whether you're going to go across there, because you can stay within 150 meters of where the race course is. It was just a lot. Also, another thing, comms. I couldn't really hear Matty, but he could hear me super clearly. He also said, I really wish that we had recorded the audio because it was very colorful, but at the same time, I'm glad we didn't because it was colorful and you're not normally that person, which I'm not, in all honesty. So yeah, it was crazy. We came into the massive whoopses, which is where you see, you know, the cars going like this, and it's no joke at all. I came in way too fast. We kind of bucked up. The end of the car came up. We were skidding on the nose, turned onto Maddie's front tire. I love it when he tells a story. I wish he was here because he's like, I could see the dust going past my face. Then it hit onto my two tires on my side. At this point, I have my hands on the steering wheel. I'm now closing my eyes because I'm like, we're so far over, we're gonna end up on the lid. So just like when it stops, then open and reevaluate what is going on. When it stopped and I opened my eyes, we were on all 4 freaking tires. Can you believe that? It was nuts. I looked at Maddie and I went, heck yeah! And then off we went again. We passed pit 1. The team wasn't there, so we kind of passed that and went into all this kind of small, very narrow rock section, up and down, up and over a hill, put my foot on the accelerator, and there was nothing. All right, Maddie, we've just passed pit remote 1 a little bit ago. Now we're here and the car has just completely died. Completely died, like no gas, no nothing, like the pedal, nothing. So we're gonna head on out. We do have some tools with us. We're gonna figure out what's going on, but it is 9:39 and again, past remote pit 1 about 15 minutes ago. So feeling really good about it, having a lot of fun. So we're just gonna hop out and get this done. Maddie hopped out and he said, it's okay, I'll grab some tools, and I hear his feet, and then I hear, well, we have no tools and we have no spare tire. And I was like, what? He's like, we lost everything somewhere. And I'm like, all right. So we tried to start the engine. We realized that we had actually burned up one of the wiring harnesses. That may have something to do with it. She sat here. This is us just stripping her down. We still don't know exactly what is going on with her, but we're gonna find that out in the next couple of days. And it was kind of game over. Our friends who we had teched with, also with the new vehicle, came over the hill, pulled over, said, we have no brakes. And I was like, oh no, that sucks. And he's like, oh, that's okay. He's like, well, we have a motor and you have brakes, so you can be our brakes and we'll take you to pit 1. Perfect. So we head on over there to be met by Chris and Matt and Tom Tom and Rudy and Walter and Trail Hunter and Max. And we took a look at it and see if we could fix it, because I was like, yeah, we can make up time, because when we stopped, we were actually in 5th place, believe it or not, 5th place. And I feel like we could have probably kept within the top 10, especially going through the rock section. And the rock section I was really looking forward to, but hey, this is what happens, right? Everything happens for a reason. So yeah, we couldn't figure out what was going on, so we kind of limped her to the road, got a trailer, loaded her up, and then took her back to camp. And had a huge freaking celebration, because we didn't even think that we were gonna get her to the start line. We didn't even think that we were gonna get her to King of the Hammers, for goodness sake. It was probably one of the most frustrating and exciting things I've ever done. Honestly, there's just kind of no words for it. I can't thank everyone enough for pulling together and getting her together to the start line. And she moves really, really well. I'm really, really happy with this build. We got to clean a couple of things up, and there will be probably one more race this year. But guys, I gotta let you know, this thing is expensivo. That's why we won't be hitting a lot of them. Normally we hit like a lot of events and we do stuff like that. Racing is a whole other lifestyle and a whole other ball game. And one more is probably what we're going to be doing this year. Which one? I am not entirely sure yet, but I will make sure that you guys know. And next time I will have GoPros and audio and a video of racing for you guys. But I hope that you understand why it had to be the way that it is. Now, I know some of you are gonna be checking this out, probably going, you guys are very observant. You're gonna be kind of, zooming in on that. There is some surface rust here, so she needs a little clean. She got stuck in the snow the other day here, but we're gonna get that done. Okay, so what did we learn from our first ever King of the Hammers race? Well, there are a number of things. The number one thing that we learned was about having pit crew. Having a very strong pit crew that know where they're going, have tools and tire and gas, and go straight there as soon as the race starts. As I said before, we bypassed pit 1 because there was no one there. If there had been people there, I think that maybe we could have seen or had a little more investigation, a little more time to do that, because when we stopped, we were actually there for a good hour and a half before we got back to pit 1. So that could have been avoided. But after having spoken to Kevin Stearns' pit crew chief and his pit crew, we learned a lot from them, and we're going to be very organized and on it next year. Have a lot of team meetings, have solid people who take good direction. So that's kind of number one right there. Number two is food. Keep your people happy with food. If they have food and they're fed with good food, they're gonna be happy. I was happy when Sam came and he cooked those breakfast tacos the first day. Everyone's face turned from kind of angry to, oh, these are so good. This is giving me life right now. So yeah, food is just another big thing. I guess being prepared is what we've learned from this last time as well. We're gonna be way more prepared and way more organized the next time because she's already built. But being in Johnson Valley, I've been in Johnson Valley a number of times and feel very comfortable there. But the navigation map had certain things there, certain cautions there, that was perfect. Honestly, a lot of people were not freaking me out, but they were very concerned about me not having time in my helmet in my hands device. And they said that that is going to be like, that's the biggest problem for a lot of people. And to be honest with you, I don't know if it's because I was focused on driving, I didn't even really notice at all. The only time I noticed I had the hands device on is when Chris put me in there and he put me, he strapped me down pretty tight. And if you do that, you do totally curl. That's not what you want, by the way. It's to kind of hold your head and your neck and shoulders and stuff in place. But if you cannot have them tight. And so many people told me that, and thank goodness, because I had these not loose, but I had them tight enough that, everything was just strapped down, but nothing was starting to curl. That's when you really hurt yourself. So yeah, the seating position in the helmet was completely fine. I didn't even really take that into consideration, to be honest with you. And then being prepared to start the race, be on that start line. And after having talked to a guy that was camped next to us from the 4400 class, he told us a story of last year. He finished 60 miles before the finish. And this year he only got 10 miles into the race before he had to cut out and go. This is a hard freaking race. I know a lot of people, listen, I've been you watching KOH from my couch and go, that's easy, whatever. I've been out there on the rocks watching famous 4,400 drivers just go by thinking, oh, well. I mean, look where I am now. This is why I'm here, because I saw that and I was like, oh, I can do that. I can do that. You just never know what is going to happen out there. It could be a cam sensor. It could be wiring. It could be you lost all your tires. It could be a blown motor, a blown diff. It could be anything, and it's out of your control. So that's what we all are living for, right? That's what I'm living for now. I'm chasing the race. I'm chasing that finish line, and that is what I'm hopefully going to do next year after having a lot of seat time in Nessie, which is necessary, and I'm very much looking forward to that. Now, I know a lot of you want to know what she's made of, what's in her, and how much everything costs to put her together. Well, Walter and I are going to sit down, and that is what our next episode is going to be about. And as always, thank you so much for watching. We're back at it now. You guys have been incredible. Thank you for being a part of this whole journey. Sorry I dropped the ball at the last moment, but hopefully you understand. And I gotta go, because I gotta go tear this one apart, maybe clean her a little. So as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.